All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address One Ocean Summit in France today through a video message. Over 60% voting recorded in first phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Campaigning intensifies for the next phase of polling in UP and for single phase in Goa and Uttarakhand on 14 February. Election Commission revises polling dates in Manipur, voting for first phase on 28th of February and second phase on 5th March. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says government managed economy meticulously despite unprecedented challenges posed by global pandemic. First part of budget session of Parliament to end today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to reply to the budget discussions in the Rajya Sabha. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to attend meeting of Foreign Ministers of Quad at Melbourne today. Mughal Gardens at Rashtrapati Bhavan to open for public from tomorrow. And in cricket, final ODI between India and West Indies to be played at Ahmedabad this afternoon. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and also help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the high-level segment of One Ocean Summit at around 2:30 p.m. today through a video message. The summit will also be addressed by several heads of states and governments including Germany, United Kingdom, South Korea, Japan and Canada among others. One Ocean Summit is being organized by France from 9th to 11th of February in Brest in cooperation with the United Nations and the World Bank. The objective of the summit is to mobilize the international community to take tangible action towards preserving and supporting healthy and sustainable ocean ecosystems. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will participate in the 4th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting at Melbourne in Australia today, along with the Foreign Ministers of Australia, Japan and the United States. The ministers will review ongoing Quad cooperation and build on the positive and constructive agenda announced by the leaders at the 2 summits last year to address contemporary challenges such as the COVID pandemic, supply chains, critical technologies, climate change and infrastructure.
Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India and Australia are proactively working for a comprehensive economic cooperation agreement to expand our economies and strengthen our role in global trade. He was addressing the dinner meet in honor of Australian Trade Minister Dan Tehan in New Delhi yesterday. Mr. Goyal said India and Australia are looking to finalize an early harvest agreement in the next 30 days, and this pact is likely to cover most areas of interest that both the countries have. Under an early harvest agreement, 2 trading partners significantly reduce or eliminate customs duties on a limited number of goods and relax norms for promoting trade in services. In Uttar Pradesh, polling for the first phase of assembly elections was held yesterday in 58 assembly constituencies spread over 11 districts. Over 60% voter turnout was registered in this phase. The state is witnessing 7-phased elections. With the first phase of polling for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh over now, all political parties have shifted their focus to the other phases of elections in the state. Political parties have intensified their poll campaign to garner the support of the public. Our correspondent reports many leaders including Prime Minister Narendra Modi will campaign in Uttar Pradesh today.
Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a rally at Patiali Assembly seat of Kasganj district in Uttar Pradesh today. Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah will campaign in Bareilly district today, while another BJP leader and Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will campaign in Varanasi. Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav will campaign for party candidates in Rampur district. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will hold virtual Karyakarta Sammelan with the candidates and party workers of assembly seats of Amethi district. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Awaisi will address political rally at Saharanpur district. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a public meeting at Almora in Uttarakhand this morning. He is also scheduled to address a public meeting at Kasganj in Uttar Pradesh in the afternoon. Home Minister Amit Shah will address public meetings at Bhojipura and Avala in Bareilly and Tilhar in Shahjahanpur of Uttar Pradesh today. BJP President Jagat Prakash Nadda will address 3 public meetings at Marseille, Kumbarjuve and Kavale in Goa today. In Uttarakhand, on the last leg of political campaigning ahead of the polls on 14th of February for 70 assembly seats, political parties and candidates have given it their all for a win. Cities and towns across the state are abuzz with sounds of political advertisements, campaigning activities of party supporters and workers, and jingles of respective candidates flowing from megaphones and loudspeakers. Prominent national party leaders are also holding public rallies and meetings across the state for different candidates. All major parties including INC, BJP, SP among others have released their manifestos. The electorate of Uttarakhand will now decide the fate of a total of 632 candidates in the electoral fray for 70 constituencies in single phase on 14th of February. Counting of votes will be done on March the 10th.
The Election Commission of India announced revised date of voting for the first and second phase of 12th general election to Manipur Legislative Assembly. The Commission announced yesterday that the date of voting for the first phase will be 28 February, while voting for the second phase will be held on 5th March now. Meanwhile, the last date of filing of nomination papers for the second phase is today. We have a report.
Earlier, the Commission had announced the schedule for first and second phase to take place on 27 February and 3rd March respectively. But some Christian organizations, along with the leaders of church, have been appealing ECI to fix another date of polls for first phase. Because the voting date 27 February is Sunday and Christian followers may face problem on casting their votes on Sunday. The Commission said that by considering all inputs, representation, ground situation and all facts and circumstances, the decision to revise the date of voting for first phase to 28 February and second phase to 5th March has taken. Meanwhile, today is the last date of filing nomination paper for second phase poll in Manipur. As per the Office of the Chief Electoral Officer Manipur, 87 candidates have filed nomination papers till yesterday. JJ Thoksom, AIR News, Imphal.
In Goa, campaigning for the single phase of assembly election to be held on 14th of this month will come to an end tomorrow. Polling in Goa will be held in 40 constituencies on the 14th of this month. Addressing an election meeting at Mapusa in North Goa, senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, for BJP, Goa means governance, opportunities and aspirations.
जिनको गोवा की संस्कृति की परवाह नहीं है, उन्होंने गोवा को अपने भ्रष्टाचार का, लूट तंत्र का एक बहुत बड़ा एटीएम बना करके रखा था। लेकिन भाजपा ने गोवा के लिए स्वयं पूर्ण गोवा का मंत्र दिया। भाजपा ने समग्र विकास की बात की, सबके लिए बराबर विकास की बात की, क्योंकि विकास को टुकड़ों में जाति, धर्म, मत, मजहब, भाषा, क्षेत्र के नाम पर बांटा नहीं जा सकता।
Our correspondent reports that the leaders of other political parties, including the Congress, Aam Aadmi Party and TMC, are making an all-out effort to woo voters. A report.
Senior Congress leader Tariq Anwar said BJP is misguiding people and accused the ruling BJP of failing to create jobs for unemployed people in Goa. Addressing election meeting in Panji, Aam Aadmi Party national convener and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal assured corruption-free and honest government in Goa, citing sacking of a Delhi minister on allegations of seeking a bribe from a shopkeeper. exhorting people to vote in favor of party candidate. TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee said Goa desperately needs a change as the Congress and BJP have failed its people. Independent candidates and other leaders of opposition parties are making whirlwind tours to attract voters. Krishna Kumar Lal, AIR News, Panji, Goa.
Election Commission has imposed a ban on exit polls beginning from 7 a.m. yesterday till 6:30 p.m. on 7th of next month in view of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Goa, Manipur and Uttarakhand. The Election Commission issued the notification in this regard last month. It said that during this period, conducting any exit poll and publishing or publicizing by means of print or electronic media or dissemination in any other manner whatsoever, the result of any exit poll in connection with these general elections shall be prohibited. It further clarified that displaying any election matter, including results of any opinion poll or any other poll survey in any electronic media would be prohibited during the period of 48 hours, ending with the hours fixed for conclusion of poll in the respective polling areas. Today is the last day of first part of budget session of Parliament. The Rajya Sabha will continue its discussion on the Union Budget today. The discussion will conclude with the reply of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The Lok Sabha is scheduled to take up the private members' business today. The budget session of Parliament began on 31st of last month with the address of the President. The second part of the session is scheduled to begin on the 14th of next month and will continue up to 8th of April.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said the Narendra Modi government has managed the economy meticulously despite the unprecedented challenges posed by the global pandemic. She was replying to the marathon discussion on the Union Budget in the Lok Sabha last evening. Ms. Sitharaman said during the 2008-2009 global financial crisis, the Indian economy suffered a contraction in the GDP growth, leading to a loss of 2.21 lakh crore rupees. But the Consumer Price Index or CPI had been 9.1%. In contrast, she said during 2020-21, the Indian economy met with a negative growth of -6.6%, leading to a loss of 9.57 lakh crore rupees. However, she highlighted that the CPI has been maintained at only 6.2% during the period. The minister said inflation during UPA 1 and UPA 2 were in double digits, terming the period as the Andhkal or the dark times. She added, the next 25 years would be the Amrit Kal. Referring to the projection in economic growth of India as against the world, Ms. Sitharaman said India will be the fastest growing economy. She said in 2022, the projected growth is 9% and in 2023 it will be 7.1%. On the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, the Finance Minister said it is a demand-driven program.
As and when there is demand, through the supplementary demand for grants, we give the additional required amounts, but we have not reduced, the amount has remained same, and it is this government raised it to 1,11,000 crores for Manrega. When the demand comes, we give them the money which is required for keeping the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme.
Ms. Sitharaman clarified that sharing of revenues with the states is on the increase. The minister said the allocation for agriculture has been increased by 6.6 times in this year's budget as compared to the figure in 2013-14. Terming the MSME as the backbone of the country's manufacturing sector, Ms. Sitharaman said 20,000 crore rupees have been allocated for it in this year's budget.
The enforcement
for MSMEs, we have brought in segments of MSMEs, heard them, understood their problem, and therefore extended quite a few assistance. Emergency Credit Liquidity Guarantee Scheme has also now been extended till 2023 March. So those MSMEs who still want to benefit out of it, who have not earlier used it, are welcome to use it. So the amounts of loans sanctioned under the Emergency Credit Liquidity Guarantee Scheme is up to 3.10 lakh crores.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address One Ocean Summit in France today through a video message. Over 60% vote recorded in first phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Campaigning intensifies for the next phase of polling in UP and for single phase in Goa and Uttarakhand on 14th of February. Election Commission revises polling date in Manipur, voting for first phase on 28 February and second phase on 5th March. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says government managed economy meticulously despite unprecedented challenges posed by global pandemic. First part of budget session of Parliament to end today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to reply to the budget discussions in the Rajya Sabha. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to attend meeting of foreign ministers of Quad at Melbourne today. Mughal Gardens at Rashtrapati Bhavan to open for public from tomorrow. And in cricket, final ODI between India and West Indies to be played at Ahmedabad this afternoon. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back to Morning News. The Union Health Ministry has said that a consistent decline in the daily average of COVID-19 cases is being noticed in the country. Addressing the media in New Delhi yesterday, Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry, Love Agarwal, said that the overall active cases are around 7,90,000. He said in the last week, the average number of daily cases reduced to 96,000.
50,000 से अधिक एक्टिव केसेस की संख्या वाली स्टेट जो कि पिछले हफ्ते वह 8 स्टेट थी, वह संख्या घटकर अब 4 स्टेट रह गई है। 11 स्टेट्स ऐसी हैं जहां पर 10,000 से 50,000 की संख्या के बीच में एक्टिव केसेस नोट किए जा रहे हैं और 21 स्टेट्स ऐसी हैं जहां पर कि 10,000 से भी कम संख्या में एक्टिव केसेस नोट किए जा रहे हैं। एक हफ्ते पहले 16 स्टेट से बढ़कर अब वह 21 स्टेट हो चुकी है। हाईएस्ट एक्टिव केसेस देश में अभी केरला में 2.5 लाख से अधिक के करीब केसेस वहां पर एक्टिव केसेस की दृष्टि में पाए गए हैं। महाराष्ट्र में 86,000, तमिलनाडु में 77,000 और कर्नाटक में 60,000 के करीब केसेस एक्टिव केसेस की दृष्टि में आते हैं।
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 171 crore 73 lakh. Union Health Ministry said that more than 43 lakh vaccine doses have been administered till last evening. More than 1 crore 64 lakh precaution doses for the identified categories of beneficiaries for COVID vaccination have been administered so far.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
It was on 11 February 1856 that the Kingdom of Awadh was annexed by the British. By 1856, except Awadh, all major kingdoms of India were annexed by the British East India Company. The British wanted to annex the Kingdom of Awadh but couldn't find a reason to attack. In the words of Governor General Dalhousie, Awadh is a cherry that will drop into our mouth one day.
The last Nawab of Awadh, Wajid Ali Shah, was a capable ruler, but the British residents gave exaggerated reports about his incompetence to the company authorities. This gave the East India Company a reason to conquer Awadh. Hence, on 7 February 1856, Lord Dalhousie ordered to depose Wajid Ali Shah on the account of alleged internal misrule.
जब छोड़ चले लखनऊ नगरी कहे हाल के हम पर क्या गुजरी जब छोड़ चले लखनऊ नगरी.
Dalhousie threw away all the moral codes, and on 11 February 1856, the Kingdom of Awadh was finally annexed. The loss of Awadh only added to the existing tensions between the British and the people. The simmering resentment finally culminated into the revolt of 1857.
On 11 February, Mahatma Gandhi's famous newspaper Harijan was launched in 1933. The paper was published weekly to promote the fight against untouchability and to liberate those who were discriminated against. It helped generate consciousness about the sufferings caused by the practice of untouchability. The articles were written either by Gandhiji himself or by his associate, Charles Prior Andrews. Rabindranath Tagore provided poems on untouchability for most of the editions of the paper. The paper was also published in Hindi and Gujarati, and it continued to be printed until 1948.
We also remember the freedom fighter and former President of India, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, who died on 11 February 1977. Born in 1905 in Delhi, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed was son of an army doctor from Assam. Ahmed joined the Indian National Congress when he met Jawaharlal Nehru in 1925 and jumped into the freedom struggle. In 1942, he participated actively in the Quit India movement, for which he was arrested and sentenced to 3.5 years of imprisonment.
After independence, Fakhruddin was elected to the Rajya Sabha in 1952 and thereafter became Advocate General of the Government of Assam. He was also elected to the Assam Legislative Assembly for 2 terms. He was twice elected to Lok Sabha, first in 1967 and again in 1971. As a cabinet minister, he held diverse portfolios relating to food and agriculture, cooperation, education, industrial development and company laws.
Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed served as the 5th President of India from 1974 till his death on 11 February 1977 when he collapsed in his office. AI News pays tribute to the nationalist.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Australian Foreign Minister Maurice Payne, Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi and US Secretary of State Antony Blinken called on Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison today. The ministers are in Melbourne to participate in the 4th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting.
The Mughal Gardens at Rashtrapati Bhavan will be open for the public from tomorrow. The gardens will remain open till 16th of March and people can visit between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. except Mondays. President Ramnath Kovind opened the annual Udyanotsav of Rashtrapati Bhavan yesterday. Visitors will be allowed to see the gardens only through advanced online booking. Booking can be made on www.rashtrapatisachivalaya.gov.in. Each slot can accommodate a maximum of 100 persons. During the tour, visitors have to follow COVID protocols such as wearing of mask and maintaining social distancing.
The Enforcement Directorate ED has attached over 1.77 crore rupees worth bank deposits of journalist Rana Ayub in connection with the money laundering probe. The investigation against the journalist is linked to alleged irregularities in charitable funds raised from public donors. The money laundering case against Ayub was filed after taking cognizance of a September 2021 FIR of Ghaziabad Police. It alleges irregularities in donor funds of over 2.69 crore rupees raised by her through online crowdfunding platform Keto.
In Gurugram, 2 persons were killed and at least 6 others injured after a portion of an under-construction roof on the 6th floor of a residential building collapsed last evening, officials said. An official said that an under-construction roof on the 6th floor at Chintas Paradiso in Sector 109 collapsed, and the impact was so severe that it went on to damage all the roofs till the first floor, causing casualties.
School bands will now perform at the National War Memorial in New Delhi on a regular rotation basis. A decision to this effect has been jointly taken by the Ministry of Defence and the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education has directed the Central Board of Secondary Education (CBSE) to prepare a schedule of school bands in consultation with the Ministry of Education and Government of Delhi so that school bands can perform at the memorial. In cricket, the third and final match of the ODI series between India and West Indies will be played at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Today, the match will begin at 1:30 p.m. A dominant India will be looking to complete a series sweep. India defeated the West Indies by 44 runs in the second match on Wednesday to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series at the same venue.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi is likely to have strong surface winds during daytime. Temperature will vary between 11 and 22 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 30 degrees. Chennai is likely to witness a partly cloudy sky with temperatures hovering between 22 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is predicted to have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The temperature will hover between 14 and 25 degrees Celsius. Srinagar recorded a minimum temperature of -1 and maximum is expected to be 13 degrees Celsius. City is likely to see a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. Jammu will also have a mainly clear sky. Leh noted a minimum of -14 and maximum to be -2 degrees Celsius. It is likely to see a partly cloudy sky as well. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky. Visakhapatnam will have a partly cloudy sky with haze. Temperature will hover between 21 and 30 degrees Celsius, while Bengaluru is likely to have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Hyderabad is predicted to have fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. Imphal will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Shillong will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain as well, and Aizawl will have a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards the afternoon or evening or night. Kohima will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will fluctuate between 5 and 15. Itanagar will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Gangtok will have a thunderstorm with rain. And Agartala will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later, with temperatures hovering between 12 and 26 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. News regarding assembly elections and relaxed guidelines for international passengers are some of the prominent stories covered by the press. Hindustan Times carries a picture of voters in queue, flashing their voter IDs with the caption, "Voting concludes for UP's first phase." The Tribune writes, Phase 1, 60.17% polling in UP, highest in Shamli. The Pioneer writes, "We-Day gift, no more quarantine for flyers from 82 countries." The Hindu writes, "No quarantine for travellers from 82 nations." The Indian Express writes, "RBI doesn't hike policy rates, roots for durable broad-based economic recovery," while the Pioneer writes, "Government managed COVID-induced slump well," says Sitaraman. And finally, triggering the everlasting curiosity in awe regarding dinosaurs, something has again caught the attention of dino lovers. The Asian Age headline, 7 dinosaur eggs found in MP forest. The paper elaborates that the fossils of the eggs found may be 66 million years old, belonging to the Cretaceous period.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address One Ocean Summit in France today through a video message. Over 60% voting recorded in first phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Campaigning intensifies for the next phase of polling in UP and for single phase in Goa and Uttarakhand on 14th of February. Election Commission revises polling dates in Manipur, voting for first phase on 28th February and second phase on 5th March. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says government managed economy meticulously despite unprecedented challenges posed by global pandemic. First part of budget session of Parliament to end today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to reply to the budget discussions in the Rajya Sabha. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to attend meeting of foreign ministers of Quad at Melbourne today. Mughal Gardens at Rashtrapati Bhavan to open for public from tomorrow. And in cricket, final ODI between India and West Indies to be played at Ahmedabad this afternoon. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.